Hey everybody, welcome to. Oh, I didn't say, I didn't say at the very beginning. 3 seconds into the video. Hey everybody, welcome back to Hot Takes Part 3, where we're gonna read some takes that you guys have about Dungeons & Dragons. Mostly just opinions, kind of unpopular ones, popular ones, who knows? You get to decide. This isn't a game show, it's just fun for me, and hopefully it doesn't get a little too heated today. We're just here for the discussion because, I mean, that's what this is, right? We're just having a time, one-way discussion. Maybe I can see you sitting there, standing, laying. I don't know what you're doing. I'm laying down. Are you laying down? We could reach a similar vibe level if we all laid down. Can everybody do that? Let's all lay on the couch or on the ground and take all of our anger out on our sponsor. Oh, jeez. RPG Squeeze, the brand new Kickstarter where you can get one of these little eyegores and squeeze the crap out of them whenever you're angry or emotional, or you just need to squeeze something like me where I'm in the middle of conversations and I just can't help but put something between my fingers. These guys are come in a lot of different colors. There's a gelatinous cube and a mimic on the brand new Kickstarter. There's a link in the description if you want to go check it out. They already met their goal, so just go ahead and get yourself some because they're pretty dang cool. And this one is pink. Okay, let's drink some milk and get ourselves ready for these red hot chili opinions. Well, that wasn't that. No. We don't need to keep that in. Hot take. This time, read the comments from the community post instead of taking 99% of them from Twitter. Fine, jeez. Sorry I didn't include the community posts last time, the last 2 times. Let's do them all right now then. All 2,000 of them. Hot take. Accounting for things such as food and water is almost always tedious and slows down the game considerably. I think it depends on the type of game that you're playing. I have some players that love that stuff, and I have some players that hate that stuff. I think it's okay for your game to have a little bit of monotony to it because it makes it better when they have a bag of holding or when they don't need to do that kind of stuff. Also, the Outlander background exists, and if you don't want to do that in your games, just have a player have one of those, or as a player take it and then make your DM upset. Look, I think it'd be kind of fun for like low-level parties to go out and have adventures on hunting for food. A survival D&D game could be kind of fun. Hot take, medicine should be an intelligence skill. Also, warlocks should either get Eldritch Blast for free or start with 3 cantrips, and druids should get Druidcraft for free. Okay, let's take that last part first. You just want them to have extra cantrips. I like playing warlocks that don't have Eldritch Blast, so I like that there's a choice. You don't have to take it, which I think is a cool way to flavor your character. Anyways, the first part, medicine should be an intelligence skill. I think medicine could be an intelligence skill, much like intimidation can be a strength skill or a charisma skill, or sleight of hand can also be an intelligence skill for tying ropes. The cool part about 5th edition is that you can change those around to be whatever you want. There are some points in time when medicine is intelligence, but not everybody's bodies work the same way. And medicine is a lot like perception, where you kind of have to guess and go with your gut instinct on what you already know to figure out what is wrong with somebody. Intelligence does play a factor in that. You do need to know anatomy and the human body and what medicine to administer to people, but identifying what is wrong with someone isn't always intelligence. Have you ever tried to Google symptoms? It's not always 100%, and that's because people are better at deciding what's wrong with you than factual, logical evidence. Everybody is different, and sometimes there's something wrong with you, and not even doctors know. So it's a lot of and that's why it's wisdom. A character being edgy isn't necessarily a bad thing, and plenty of edgy characters in D&D and general fiction are interesting. The problem comes when it's used to justify annoying or shitty behavior. Yes! 100%. You know what, DMs? Let your players be edgy sometimes. Every player has an edgy phase, and some never grow out of it, but that's their fun, and if they like to be edgy, then it's great. If it becomes a problem for your games, then talk to them about it, but there's nothing wrong with somebody playing the rogue that kills everyone, and their parents are dead, and they have the Hexblade Warlock who gives them their power. Sometimes that can be really fun, and we need to stop aligning a negative connotation to it. Hot take, a tragic backstory is not needed for a good character, and sometimes I live happily and just want to adventure can be fun and a breath of fresh air. That was hard to read. Yeah, totally. On the opposite side of being edgy, you can totally be somebody who's just having a regular time with their life. People who go out into the world to adventure and get away from their past and not stay at home to go save the world are typically not normal, happy people, but you can totally do it. 5e poison isn't deadly and versatile enough. Ooh, what? What? Are we playing the same 5th edition? Because there's like 10 to 15 different types of poisons. They have their gold piece costs, and they do tons of damage, and they all have little different ways that they work. The poison system is super versatile in 5e. It even opens up the option to create your own poisons. You can mix and match all the different abilities. What level 20 characters are you trying to poison? Hot take, Eldritch Blast is super boring and instead should slightly change depending on the patron. I put that in my How to Play Warlock Again video. Your Eldritch Blast should be flavored to your patron because it's such a boring, force damage, whatever spell. It would be cool if it did different things based on your patron. It would make Warlocks super interesting. Hot take, vampires should be viable Warlock patrons for Undying Warlocks. Yes. Yes. I don't know. I think it could be Great Old One too, because don't vampires get their magic from the Shadowfell, and it would be like the Shadowfell is your patron? Because like, I don't know. Yeah, I think it could work. Vampires are undead. There should be more magic items that aren't weapons. Yes, there are. There are a lot already that aren't just weapons. But the thing is that everybody's a gamer and they want to do big damage. And so Fire Sword exists. Okay, YouTube, I'm going to go to Twitter now. Is that okay? Can I look at the Twitter comments now? I did all the YouTube. I didn't do all of them because a lot of them were just repeating the same things or paragraphs. And I wanted to do some new ones. So I'm going to go over to Twitter now, okay? All right, okay. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page here. Love you. Counterspell is more broken than Dispel magic. Search your dough, boy. You know it to be true. Yeah, no, you're right. No, you're right. Actually, I think Counterspell's kind of cool. I think it's kind of interesting spell. I agree with you, Mr. Chapman, but you're right. I don't feel so strongly about Dispel magic anymore. Actually kind of like the spell. Clerics aren't necessarily healers. The class is designed to fill any so-called role that the group is lacking and be one of, if not the best thing in the game at it. Yeah, clerics are super, super, super strong, and I think they are super, super, super strong because they need to be, otherwise nobody will play them. I think that in 5th edition, clerics were made to be really powerful. I think we talked about this in another hot take video. You're right. Clerics are powerful because they have to fill a role, and that's mostly their job. I hate when PC elves are treated like normal humans. Living for 400 plus years probably warps your perspective on life. Though that also goes for DMs and that don't accommodate for that in their settings either. Like, I really enjoy the conflicts that can arise from bigotry of elf NPCs. If that's the way that you want to play your elves, then that's the way that you're going to run your elves. If your character who's an elf isn't some timeless, strange, aloof individual, then they don't have to be because that's your character. Allow your race's history to affect your backstory and maybe some of their character, but not be the entire influence to why they are the way they are. Elves, I feel, can be just as diverse as humans, as halflings and dwarves and every other race in the player's handbook. But if you want to play an elf that's more like, I'm 400 years old and the world is different and I think it passes very slowly. Sure, I like to play elves like that because I think that's realistic for them. I also think that's how you should treat gnomes. Hit die shouldn't be determined by your class, but your background instead. You're telling me that a trained soldier is less hardy than a hermit because of what weapon they're holding? okay, I think this is a balance issue because being a soldier and then being a wizard, sure, but D10s on a wizard? I don't know, thank you. People should try to make their own original characters instead of just making D&D Deadpool. But making D&D Deadpool is... Wait. Is it Tulak the Barbarian? It's not about overcoming the enemy or your character surviving. It's about telling a shared story with friends. This has been brought to you by Wholesome Moments number 14 with the Runesmith. And yeah, Logan is 100% right with that. D&D is always about telling a story with your friends. But we also have to remember that it's also about having fun with your friends. Some of you need to remember, it's about telling a fun story, not a necessarily good story in your mind. If it's fun and it's maybe a little dumb and you get to have a good time, then hey, D&D was successful. Players who min-max miss the point of the game. Sure, yes, you are probably right. However, I think min-maxing is a part of Dungeons & Dragons. And I'm not trying to advocate for my own min-maxing. I try my best not to do it, but also playing a powerful character is fun for some people, like myself. I like being good at the game. I will point out that my favorite classes are Bard and Warlock, who are not good at the game because D&D is about the story and the character and the fun we're going to have while we're playing it, and doing 40, 50 damage in a turn is not the joy that I get out of the game. West March campaigns are just kids who used to RP in forums and don't really want to play D&D. That's my whole Discord. The only thing that PCs actually care about are our adorable animal companions. You speak the truth. Stibble's Codex of Companions. Out sometime. I don't know. There is spots in this video. Rules lawyers are actually the most helpful players to have at the table. If you think to yourself, I'm the DM, so I make the rules, then why did you spend $180 on 3 books full of rules? Play the game the right way. Because this game doesn't have to be played the right way. You don't have to adhere to the rules. There's rules because rules are fun and we can adhere to like a little bit of a railroad, but going off the rails is sometimes really super fun. And if I'm sitting here playing D&D and I do something outside of the rules and the DM says I can do it, and then you come in going, oh, actually you can't, you are annoying and nobody likes you. Okay, maybe a couple people like you, but seriously, I don't understand. Why did you spend $180 on books? Oh my God, I can't even unpack this all at once. The rules of Dungeons & Dragons are guidelines, and they are there to help you tell your stories. Everybody is agreeing to follow these rules in order to play the game. Now, the Dungeon Master still has final say over everything, and that's the fun of Dungeons & Dragons. If you don't like that, go play Gloomhaven. There's no DM, you have to follow the rules, and there's no room for experimenting or being creative. All you get to do is play by the rules. Gloomhaven's still a really fun game, but it isn't Dungeons & Dragons. It's just kind of like a video game. That is the beauty of the freedom of Dungeons & Dragons, is that you don't have to follow the rules. I don't get why oh my gosh. Anyways, have fun in your D&D games. Don't go crazy. Make sure to always read the YouTube comments instead of the Twitter comments. And I will see you guys next time. Get yourself an RPG squeeze. Okay, bye.